It's low key, and I say I am Mr. Superfax. So we're gonna start a new series for the people that are just waking up. A series that I wish was around when I first woke up. It's gonna be called So You're Being Gangstalked. This is episode 1. Welcome to the program. So, what's my definition of a gang stalker? My definition of a gang stalker is an individual that participates in lower vibration activities that opens doors for lower entity possession. Um, I think that's for me personally, that's just the easiest way to explain it. Um, is it a government program? Sure. I wouldn't be opposed to that theory or whatever. But I think everything manifests in the spirit realm and it manifests into the physical. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that they're doing, it involves a spiritual element. So, like I said, it's just an individual. A gang stalker is really just an individual that's really just spiritually possessed. And it's not that they don't have a fault to play, they are voluntarily leaving doors open and participating in lower vibrational activities that will put them in a situation where they no longer are in control. They're no longer in the driver's seat of their soul, of this vessel. Let's just call it what it is. Um, so that's kind of like my definition of what a gang stalker is. It's nothing really to be like, like when you first, I remember when I first heard the word gang stalker, I was like, okay, I guess it's like a gang that stalks people. All right. I had no idea. I had no idea about organized harassment, the energy weapons, mobbing, street theater, sabotage. I didn't know none of this stuff. I just always felt, since I was young, I just felt like I was cursed. I just felt like I was cursed, or somebody put a curse on me, or I'm just unlucky, right? If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. That's just how I felt. I'm like, I'm just unlucky. I could buy 100 lottery tickets and not win a single one type shit. I could be in a relationship and do everything right and the girl still break up with me type shit. You know? Uh, so my whole life I just felt, I'm like, damn, I'm observing, the things that's happening. I'm like, damn, I'm unlucky as fuck. But I think that, it's debatable where the program starts. Does the program start as far as, does the program start before you come into this realm or after? And that's one of the things I don't know if we'll ever know an answer to that. But we just talking about, so you're being gang stalked. Now you're like, hold on, wait. Like you finally realize, oh, there's a term for this. And the sad part is they've went in mainstream. They made this shit mainstream, and whenever they make something mainstream, it takes all the it just dilutes a lot of the truth and organic information and reactions out of it, and they just, so the mainstream definition of being gang stalked is, like, oh, it's a the community is spying on me and they're trying to destroy my life, and it's just a hit piece to make people look and sound crazy as hell, schizophrenic, whatever the fuck, and that's what it is. But at the core of it is spiritual warfare. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna talk about that. The mainstream media and whoever's doing these, the videos that get hundreds of thousands of views on this particular topic, they're not talking about the core of it, the spirituality of what's happening. They're not gonna touch that. All they're gonna talk about is the government is behind. You know what I mean? Like, to mock the people that's going through this shit. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when I first heard that term, I was like, I had no idea. I was like, it's crazy. It was crazy. I was just like, what the fuck is that? I didn't even know there was a term, for everything that was like the pattern of events that was happening to me my whole life. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then, like, this sounds so stupid, but thank God for YouTube, because there's a handful of real people on YouTube that and another thing, like, one of the first things you gotta learn is moderation. Everything. It's moderation. You have to take your time, because this gang stalking and targeted individuals and perps and all of this stuff, this is a massive rabbit hole. A massive rabbit hole that if you do not moderate your spirit, okay? If you do not moderate your consumption, it can have it can destroy your mind. It can fuck up your spirit, and it can bring a lot of negative energy into your vessel. Let's have a real conversation. So you have to, everything is in moderation. So you have to it's nothing to be scared of. We're all gonna fucking die. We're all gonna transcend. We're all gonna be not exist at one point in time. Um it's nothing to be afraid of or anything like that. You, as a truth seeker, a real truth seeker does not fear death. Or a real truth seeker, your goal is to return to source. That's your goal. So a real truth seeker, what you're really doing is, this satanic ass simulation realm, what I call it, it tries to train a person to just be attached to fear. And when you die, it's like, you dying with that fear running through your veins, right? And on a spiritual level, running through your soul. Let's have a real conversation. I feel like the goal of a real truth seeker is to just completely detach and be like, yo, when I die, I'm gonna die with a smile on my face, because I know I'm out of here. And then wherever I go after that, I'm gonna remember, I'm gonna try my hardest to remember how much I leveled up and elevated my consciousness so that I don't get recycled. You know what I mean? Now, we don't know what's going on. They might be on some bullshit. We might be forced to get recycled. Who knows? Like, even if you do everything you're supposed to do, even if you know what I mean? Like, you're like, you in the shadow of me, like, you don't go into the light, or you tell the archons to fuck off, or whatever. You don't run to, familiar spirits or people that if you just turn away from everything, they still might rig the shit. You know what I mean? It still might be rigged for you to come back here and be energy harvested over and over and over again. But that's a more advanced topic that we'll get into at another time. Today is more just like an introduction, right? So I really would just say that, you have to, it's about moderation. And even when it comes to paranoia, you have to moderate your paranoia. Um, so I got people, whole parking lot, and then these people is walking over here, and everything is closed. So once again, before you just jump to like reactions and shit like that, like you always got to take everything into context, right? So check this out, right? Right. So there's these people walking over here. I'm in the one. Here's the context. I'm in the back of a fucking parking lot. It's Christmas Eve. Every store. I'm the only car over here. It's Christmas Eve. Everything is closed. That's two. And then they're just standing there. They're just standing there. Everything is closed. There's so when I say, oh, okay, this is a gang stalker, it comes from a place of you have no business being here, other than to see what I'm doing or be in my view or get my attention. You know what I mean? Like you have no other purpose of being here than to beg for my attention. That's, you know what I mean? So not like if somebody parks over there and I'm like, that's a gang stalker, or they're a colored cars. No. Me, and I'm not saying that's not. I'm not saying those aren't messages. But me personally, when a meat suit is going out of their way to get my attention, they're begging for my attention and be in my direct line of sight, and especially try to distract me when I'm making videos or making music or writing songs or whatever the case may be, when I'm trying to focus on something, when these fucking whatever entities just pop up like that, that's one of the signs. But everything is in context. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, everybody's a gang stalker. Like, it's not that. Because I personally believe, this is a theory of mine, I believe that we're all targeted individuals, to a certain extent, until until we wake up, like, you know what I mean? Like, because even the gang stalkers are being targeted. The gang stalkers are being targeted by low vibrational entities. And the only difference between us and them is we we sense and feel those energies and we cast them out and we close the doors. That's the only difference between a targeted individual and a gang stalker perp. You're realizing, oh, this energy is super low vibrational. This entity, whatever the fuck it is, I don't want it in my vessel. And whatever activities it likes to participate in serve me no purpose. I'm good. Get the fuck out. I rebuke that, whatever. That's the only difference between us and them. You know what I'm saying? So, there you have it. And they made sure to walk in front of me. Okay, that's another thing. When they walk in front of you, they want your attention. Okay, so it's like some people would get super bent out of shape from shit like that, but it's like I've been, like I said, 34 years old. Half of my life I've been going through this shit. Probably more than half of my. I didn't realize what Gangstalker was, and probably until like maybe a little less than 10 years ago. So you just get used to it, you know what I mean, and you just observe and you accept it for what it is, and the sad part is it's really just people that's not in the driver's seat of their vessel. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I feel bad for these people because every day you wake up and that's your decision. You choose. These people choose not to do the mirror work. They choose to wander around life not in control of their spirit, right? They choose to be, to be attached, to have addictions, and they love the Matrix. Let's have a real conversation. You know, they love the Matrix, man, because there's no other explanation. Otherwise, if you really truly hate the Matrix, you try as hard as you can to detach from it. And I mean, it's only so much you can fucking do unless you got an endless supply of fucking money. Other than that, you got to make money or you're gonna fucking die, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, right? So, once again, you got to watch out. Once again, it's everything is in context. What exactly is when you feel like you're being gangstalked, take a step back and just be like, well, wait, what is the context? Am I around? Am I already around a bunch of people? Am I around stores that's open? Am I in a situation where it would make sense for people to be around me? Shit like that, you know what I mean? And then everything is in moderation. So once again, you have to moderate your paranoia, right? Because the last thing you do want to do is actually go crazy. The last thing you want to do is literally lose your fucking mind. It's bad. It's bad. It could get bad. And crash out and throw your life away. Because something that I kind of like, this is like, damn near like master levels of gang stalking experience. Like something that I noticed that if you were to get really upset, like they're the perps or whatever. I'm sorry, man, I killed. If the perps is like trying to get a reaction out of you, and you ignore it 99 times, and then on the 100th time, you lash out, you start yelling, screaming, you really ready to just go to jail or die. You really ready to just say, you just like fuck it, you know? And what I'm trying to say is you're ready to, like, you stop caring. Like they get you to the point where you just don't care no more what happens. And then you're kind of revealed that the Matrix reveals that it needs you more than you think, because it's like, say you go ahead and crash out, you lose your mind and shit, you do something to somebody, or right before you about to do something to somebody, everything like calms back down, and it's like, it's hard to explain unless you've been in this situation. But what I've personally observed, I'm like, oh shit, this Matrix, it needs me. Like, it needs me in it more than if I just was not here. Because I'm the type of person, like, when I'm done, I'm done. Like, I'm completely done. Like, it's nothing to talk about. I don't want to talk. I want violence, like, allegedly. So, but something I observe is definitely this, whatever the fuck this bullshit ass realm is, this energy harvesting realm, energy farm, whatever, soul farm, it need it. If you die or you cease to exist, it's like them losing a battery. It's like them losing, food. Let's have a real conversation. So it's like the people, the perps, or whoever it may be, the lower vibrational, the archons, the lower vibrational entities, they're gonna fuck with you and fuck with you and fuck with you. and then they pump fake, they play around like they really want problems. But then when you say, all right, I'm done, when you actually when you actually just be like, yo, all right, I got something for you, then they fall back. They pump fake. So they really don't want the truth. That something that I learned is they really don't want it. They really don't want it. You know, they don't want the real problems and consequences that come with the constant all the stuff that they do, the sabotage, the instigating, the negativity, the disrespect. They don't want the real life problems and consequences that come with that. Because then as soon as you say fuck it, 99 times you let it go, you be the bigger person, right? You be the bigger God. Let's have a real conversation. 100 times, it's like you didn't fucking you tried to instigate an argument with me, or you disrespected me 99 times. Okay, 100 times. Okay, let's go. Let's go. All I'm doing is matching your energy, and they're like, oh, whoa, 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 and I'm like, what you mean? What you mean? So you got to be careful for that, because at the end of the day, they don't want no problems. They're like gang. Look at it like this: like gang stalkers are like chihuahuas. And I hope the audio is coming through. I don't even know, but gang stalkers are like chihuahuas. They'll do all of that, and then as soon as you're ready to nip that in the bud, here comes, whoa, 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 whoa. Here comes the victim. Here comes 911, right? Here comes all of that shit. Here comes, why are you acting like this? You need to calm down. But it's like you didn't sit here and you tried to you've been driving somebody crazy for how long? And now you the same person saying somebody need to calm down. No, you need your ass kicked thoroughly. That's what you need, you know? Because I struggle with, I asked the question, like when I started thinking, my brain, I don't know where the ideas come from, but it comes from a place of definitely like logic, but also like I have a curious soul or spirit. And I'm just like, I wonder if, I never read the Bible. Nigga, you know what I mean? Like scriptures here and there, whatever. But I never read the Bible. But I always wondered, like, whether they put it in the Bible or didn't put a Bible or whatever, or if it was something that, see, I always wondered, did Jesus Christ kill anybody? And they said he did. They said in I think he said the Gospel of Thomas or something like that, he killed a man when he was younger and brought him back to life. But I mean, like, I wonder, did Jesus Christ, cause they talk about Jesus Christ flipping chairs and, talking about him standing on godly business, but I wonder, did Jesus Christ ever kill an evil person? You know what I mean? Because they tell you, I personally feel like they weaponize religion against Christians and just people in general. They weaponize religion and indoctrinate people to be like, we're not supposed to. This is going to be I guess it's going to be a hot take, but for me, this is just a logical thought. But they make people feel like murder is bad, and it's like it's going to be like some eternal consequence, some immortal eternal consequence if you murder somebody. Now, my question is, and I'm just here to ask a question. Now, if you have an individual that refuses to close their doors and they're consumed by negative ass entities because of they make that choice not to close those doors and vibrate on a high level and raise the vibration of this piece of shit realm and be a productive spirit, right? if you got a person that's choosing to be a demon and somebody murders that person, and not saying that they're gonna murder the demon because the demon just gonna jump to somebody else, another open vessel. But my question would be like to God or Jesus or whatever, like, why is it bad for a good person to murder a bad person? Why is it why is it bad? How could it be bad if a good soul slays a demon? How can that be bad other than you're telling me it's bad because of a book or some sort of religious indoctrination? Because I was thinking about this earlier, and I know I'm kind of we getting straight away, but I was thinking about this earlier. And I'm like, okay, so let's simplify it. What if we all lived on the same block, and it was 30 houses on the block, and on one house it was a family that was stealing everybody's money on the block, sexually assaulting everybody's children on the block, right? Enjoying the benefits of usury on the block, you know, poisoning and ultimately, killing and sex trafficking the children on the block. And then now the children, allegedly, the children are being cut up and put into the food that you eat in your town. Allegedly. Yeah, we going there. But it's just, you got a block with 20, 30 houses, and it's just one house with one family that is just pure evil and destroying the quality of lives and potential spiritual evolution of every fucking family that lives in every other house on that block. What would be the most logical thing to do? We burning these motherfuckers' houses down and everybody inside, metaphor wise. Wouldn't that be the most logical thing to do? But the indoctrination is just let this one house with this one family continue to do the evil that they doing, and Jesus will take care of it, or God will take care of it. And I'm like, that sounds off. That sounds very cowardly. I would think, and once again, these are two different conversations. You're having a spiritual conversation and just a human logic conversation. Like, I would think the right thing to do is to get rid of the that one family on the block that's destroying everybody's fucking life. I could be completely wrong. Okay. Welcome to the program. So that, like I said, they try to mainstream gang stalking, so everything is going to be a hit piece. My advice would be, don't watch anything mainstream related. Find regular people. And there's going to be regular people that are out here sounding crazy as fuck, that are going to be overreacting, that's going to call everything in the world a fucking, somebody out to get, like, but then you'll also find other channels. I just found a channel last week or 2 weeks ago. The dude is fucking hilarious. I forget his name. He got his name is confusing. I can't remember he don't have like a regular name. It's like a bunch of letters and shit. But he's funny, but he's also, you can just tell, okay, this seems like an organic person. This person isn't necessarily overreact. This is somebody that's seasoned, a seasoned targeted individual. Somebody that accepts this shit for what it is. They make observations and they just try their best to limit the bullshit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, when you wake up to this program, you do realize that it's really, you really don't have any control. And within, like yesterday, I was driving and there was a train, and then we was all stopped. And then as soon as the train went away, I had the right of way, but then a dude came sped out of nowhere as if he was trying to drive through my car and almost fucking T-boned me or took off, crashed into the front. And I'm like, so it's like split second things that you don't have no control over and you can't see coming. You can't brace for, you can't see coming, you can't prepare for, because that's what this shit is. So you kind of got to be ready spiritually before anything happens. And then you also have to control your reactions, because, you know, they really do want you in prison. They really do want you in jail. They want you locked the fuck up. And now you're just stuck. You're stuck until you die. You know what I mean? That's really what they want, you know? And, you know, some people call them chosen ones or whatever, but a lot of people, you can't run from this shit and you can't hide. And I don't think it was your purpose to run or hide. I think the purpose is to just observe, you know, what's happening, accept this satanic simulation realm for what it is, and just level up your consciousness so that when you do transition, maybe you have the opportunity not to be recycled because you detach from this shit. You know, because the opposite of this, if we weren't going through all of this fucking bullshit, we would love this world like them. We would love this world the same way they do. So you already know they on the motherfucking these NPCs, sheeple, goy, whatever, you know what I mean? they're definitely on the that's what I wanted to, I was trying to figure out a word. They're on the cipher carousel, okay? The cipher carousel, or cipher carousel, okay, from the Matrix. They love this shit. So what I would say to somebody that just woke up to this programming is be grateful. And you got to rewire your whole spirit to fully be grateful, to fully genuinely feel that way. Because like I said, if reincarnation is real and the only thing that separates you from reincarnating into this world is your level of consciousness, and motherfucker, you better be grateful that you conscious enough to see what the fuck is happening in front of you in this invisible world. Let's have a real conversation, because what we talking about is this is an invisible, a whole invisible world of being hyper aware of patterns and frequencies, shit you cannot see. You cannot see a frequency. You walk into somebody's house and you can feel, you don't see it, but you feel it. You're like, damn, nah, something ain't right here. Or somebody get in your car and you can already feel it. Even be a friend. You feel it. You're like, oh, this nigga sad, or this nigga mad, or this person, something wrong, something is off. You know what I'm saying? So it's an invisible world that, you know, you had the opportunity to tap into, for better or for worse. Let's have a real conversation. So, you know, you're gonna go through shit like this happened to me. I think it was yesterday. It's a bunch of, they just do dumb shit. So they'll mess up your food, right? So me being homeless, I eat out all the time. I don't have nobody to cook for me. I don't have no family to make me food like that, shit like that on a consistent basis. So I'm eating out all the time. And that's another part of the program. It's hard for me to save money because I'm spending so much money on this inflation as food, on this shrinkflation as food. So I went and got I went and got a quesadilla yesterday. A chicken quesadilla, and I get extra chicken because they don't put no chicken. Ain't no 3D printed chicken on this motherfucking quesadilla. So I got it. That's just how it is. Like, you gotta ask for extra, because otherwise it's like, what are we even doing here? Like, basic level chicken or basic level protein on food. You look at it like, the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I'm a grown ass man. Like, you know what I mean? So, long story short, it was $18 for a chicken quesadilla. All it is fucking cheese and chicken and a tortilla. And they charged me 18 fucking dollars. I told the fucking bitch, I said, can you put onions, cilantro, and jalapenos on the inside of the quesadilla? I get to the car. You think it was on the inside? You think the bitch did what I asked her to do? Hell no. I asked her, can I get a side of salsa? You think the salsa was in the bag? Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, right? And these are things that add up. And then I got some food yesterday for dinner yesterday, and I forget what I got, but they fucked that shit up too. I asked them for something, and they fucked. I forget what they did, but they fucked that, and I was like, damn, I'm 2 for 2. Because sometimes I like to keep track. It becomes like a game, you know what I mean? Especially with like red lights too. They love to stop you. Like, a light will be. There's a rhythm of driving. I'm always driving, and there's a rhythm of driving, and you'll be driving around, whatever. This shit might turn off, so I'll make a part 2. This shit might turn off. I'm letting y'all know right now. But there's a rhythm of driving, but then the lights will just start out of nowhere, just all turn red. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. Like, I'll be at a red light to turn green, and before I can even go through the next red light, this shit is already red. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, so now we playing this game where I'm about to catch every fucking light today. Okay. So it's stuff like that. But they love to fuck your food up, right? They love to make you wait. They love to be in your way. They love to be around you. So if I'm like, I'm sitting in a parking lot or something, they love to pull up right next to you. And then on top of being, because you got to remember, this is your energy field, you know what I mean? So they love being in your space. They love it. And that's really like, me personally, I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, I don't even care. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm not gonna allow you to fucking eat off my energy. Like, so I just leave. But these are things that are going to happen, and they're gonna happen often. And they're meant to throw you off, piss you off, and lower your vibration. They really want you to fucking kill somebody. That's what they really, or kill yourself. Okay, so these are things I'm gonna talk about in other episodes, but do some research on spirit spouses. Once again, you got monitoring spirits. Do some research on monitoring spirits. That's why I say you can't run or hide. These motherfuckers, I might have fucking 100 monitoring spirits sitting in my back seat right now that we just can't see them with with our eyes and shit. Let's have a real conversation. We all know also that they love to possess the people that we love. If they can't get to us, I mean, it's like, is this in the 48 laws of power? This has to be. This is like a war strategy 101. If they can't get to me, meaning they can't get me, like in the movie Fallen, they can't manipulate me to physically throw my life away. They're gonna do everything, or they can't manipulate me to lower my vibration of my vessel so they can jump inside of me, pause. they're gonna manipulate all the people around me. They can't destroy me. They're gonna destroy everything and everyone around me or you. It's just as simple as that. It's just like spiritual warfare 101. That's like first rule. Okay, I can't fuck you over. I'm gonna fuck over everybody around you and everything you love. I'm fucking it up. So in hopes that you break. You understand? So I'm gonna leave this here. That's like 40 minutes right there. And I think this was some good shit. But, welcome to the program. Be grateful that you in this program because it might be like serve as a key or an opportunity for you to fucking wake the fuck up and be like, you know what? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to possibly never have to go through this shit ever again. Let's have a real conversation. So, it's Christmas Eve. We don't celebrate holidays over here. It's just another day to me, but it's really a more annoying day because I can't work, right? I can't even be a good little slave. And it's also a reminder that yes, I am the black sheep and how I just be feeling like I'm like, damn, I just feel so robbed of a real family. It's fucking pathetic. It's absolutely fucking pathetic. You know what I mean? Because, that's one of the best experiences you will have as a human being, as family, experiencing that in this, the three-dimensional world and shit like that. Like a real family, a group of people that, no matter what, love you and care about you and shit like that. So that's it. That's episode 1. I'm up out of here, man. It's low key, and I say I am Mr. Super Facts. All right, man. So if you're going through this program, just be grateful, and we're gonna talk about it more on the next episode.